Have you ever wondered about the habits, routines, or little decisions you're still holding on to, even though your life today looks nothing like it did 20, 30, or 40 years ago? It happens to all of us. We get comfortable. We repeat things automatically. And sometimes we don't even notice that a habit that once protected us, supported us, or made perfect sense has quietly stopped working in our favor, especially when we're living alone after 70. Maybe it's something you keep just in case. Maybe it's something you still do out of pride. Or maybe it's simply the fear of changing a system you've relied on your whole life. But here's the truth many older adults in 2026 are starting to face. The world has changed faster than our habits have, and some of those old habits can now make life harder, less safe, and more stressful than it needs to be. Today, let's gently uncover the 10 things that no longer make sense when you're living alone after 70. You might see yourself in these. You might laugh. And who knows, you might even feel relieved. So grab something warm to drink, settle in, and let's talk honestly. Number 1, relying on a single emergency device when you're living alone after 70. It's easy to assume that one phone, usually the one sitting in the kitchen or on the nightstand, is enough just in case. For years, maybe even decades, it was enough. But in 2026, depending on a single device is a quiet risk many older adults don't realize they're taking. Falls happen fast. Low blood sugar, dizziness, sudden weakness. None of it waits for you to reach the phone. A woman in a community group recently shared how she slipped in her hallway and couldn't crawl back to her bedroom, where her phone was charging. She laid there for hours, fully conscious, just unable to move. Stories like hers aren't rare anymore. Today's safer approach isn't about surrendering independence. It's about protecting it. A lightweight smartwatch with fall prediction, a voice-activated assistant, or even a home sensor that checks for inactivity can act as silent guardians. They move with you, watch out for you, and give you the freedom to live alone without living at risk. Number 2, refusing to automate or digitize your bills. When you're living alone after 70, paying bills the old-fashioned way can feel comforting. Writing checks, sorting envelopes, keeping everything in a tidy stack on the kitchen counter. It's familiar, it's tangible, it's how you've stayed in control for decades. But in 2026, the world doesn't slow down just because the mail does. A late notice can hide under a magazine. A hospital stay can make you miss a deadline. And digital-only reminders can slip past if you're not checking online accounts regularly. I recently spoke with a gentleman who missed his health insurance payment simply because he caught a flu and didn't leave the house for a week. By the time he realized it, his coverage had temporarily lapsed. The stress that followed was far worse than learning a new system. Automating your essential bills isn't about giving up control. It's about protecting your stability. Autopay, email alerts, bank notifications, or even a digital assistant that reads your reminders aloud can act as a backup brain when you don't have one in the house. If the setup feels overwhelming, ask a family member, your bank, or a trusted helper to guide you. You're not getting old. You're getting smart about the world you live in now. Number 3, staying in a home that's no longer safe or manageable. Your home holds a lifetime of memories, and that's what makes this topic so tender. The doorway your children ran through. The stairs your partner once rushed down. The kitchen where you cooked holiday meals. Leaving, or even modifying, this space can feel like erasing part of your story. But when you're living alone after 70, the home that once supported you can quietly turn into a maze of risks. A woman in a support group shared how she avoided going to her basement for years because the narrow steps terrified her. After a power outage left her stuck in the dark, shaking and unable to climb back up, she finally admitted, "This house doesn't fit me anymore." That's the reality many older adults face. Steep stairs, slippery tubs, heavy doors, unreachable cabinets, and a yard that demands more energy than your body can spare. Downsizing or transitioning isn't defeat. It's giving yourself permission to choose a home that fits your life today. Single-level layouts, safer bathrooms, smart lighting, or a community where maintenance is handled for you. Letting go doesn't erase your past. It helps you stay safe enough to keep creating a future. Number 4, driving at night or long distances alone. Driving has always been a symbol of freedom, rolling down the windows, choosing your route, going wherever you want, whenever you want. But after 70, especially when living alone, this freedom becomes more fragile than we often admit. Nighttime glare grows harsher. Depth perception shifts. Reaction time slows just a little. Not enough to notice in daily life, but enough to matter when a car swerves or a sign appears too late. One man told me he realized it was time to change when he missed an exit he had driven for 40 years. Not because he didn't recognize it, but because he couldn't read the sign fast enough in the dark. The scare lingered with him for months. The danger isn't being a bad driver. It's the subtle changes you can't predict. And driving alone amplifies every risk. No one to take over when your eyes strain. No one to catch fatigue. No one to reassure you in unfamiliar streets. In 2026, you have better options. Daytime errands, rideshare services for seniors, autonomous shuttles in many cities, or simple ride exchanges with neighbors. Choosing these alternatives isn't losing independence, it's protecting it. Say freedom is still freedom. Number 5, staying loyal to a doctor who no longer fits your needs. It's natural to feel loyal to a doctor you've known for decades. Maybe they delivered your children, treated your spouse, or helped you through an illness that shaped your life. Their office feels familiar, their nurse remembers your birthday, and the routine is comforting. But when you're living alone after 70, comfort isn't the same as good care. And in 2026, your health needs have likely outgrown your old doctor's approach. Aging is complex now. Medication interactions, cognitive changes, bone density issues, fall risks, and subtle signs of decline that require specialized attention. I met a woman who stayed with her doctor for 25 years, even though he dismissed her fatigue as just getting older. Her new geriatric specialist found a thyroid imbalance within minutes. I didn't know how unseen I was, she told me. That's the danger. When you're alone, there's no spouse to say, something seems off. Your doctor must be the one who listens closely, notices patterns, and takes your concerns seriously. Switching isn't betrayal. It's self-respect. You deserve a doctor who treats aging with expertise, not autopilot. In 2026, telehealth, geriatric clinics, and AI-assisted diagnostics make it easier than ever to get care that truly fits the person you are today. Number 6, stockpiling food, like you're still feeding a family. For many older adults, keeping a full pantry brings a sense of security. Maybe it's a habit from raising children or a memory of times when money was tight and food wasn't guaranteed. But living alone after 70 changes things. And in 2026, stocking up like you're preparing for a household of 5 often creates more problems than comfort. I once visited a woman who kept 2 freezers packed so tightly she couldn't remember what was inside. When we finally opened the back layer, we found a loaf of bread frozen since 2013. She laughed, but the truth behind her words, "I just feel better knowing it's there," was something many seniors resonate with. The issue isn't preparation. It's overwhelm. Heavy cans can fall on your feet. Expired food becomes a health risk. Overstuffed shelves make bending, reaching, and sorting far more dangerous. And climate changes in 2026 cause foods to spoil faster than before. A gentler approach? Keep a modest supply of foods you actually eat and can easily prepare on low-energy days. Use smart labels, small storage bins, or even a simple app that reminds you what you already have. Preparedness should make your life easier, not heavier. Number 7, holding on to valuables and heirlooms no one wants. Letting go of heirlooms is one of the most emotional challenges for older adults living alone. These items aren't just objects. They're echoes of your parents' hands, your grandparents' stories, the childhoods you nurtured, the holidays you hosted. That china set, the heavy oak table, the old photo boxes, each piece carries a heartbeat. But in 2026, younger generations are living smaller, moving more often, and embracing minimalism in a way that leaves little room for the treasures you protected for decades. A woman I spoke to spent an entire weekend polishing her grandmother's silver tea set, only to hear her granddaughter say gently, "It's beautiful, but I'd never use it." The sting wasn't rejection, it was grief. not of the object, but of the era it represented. Holding on to items no one wants leaves you with emotional weight and physical clutter that makes living alone harder. A kinder path is to preserve the memory, not the object. Photograph the heirloom, write its story, and pass it to someone who will truly appreciate it. Maybe a museum, a collector, or a neighbor who loves vintage things. Letting go doesn't erase your history. It frees your home to reflect who you are now. Number 8, ignoring cybersecurity because it feels too complicated. Technology can feel overwhelming, especially when you've lived most of your life without passwords, verification codes, or suspicious emails pretending to be the bank. But in 2026, ignoring digital safety is one of the most dangerous habits for older adults living alone. Scammers aren't just sending fake messages anymore. They're using AI-generated voices, copying family members, and creating convincing documents that can trick even the sharpest minds. A gentleman told me his son called asking for urgent help. The voice sounded identical, tone, breath, hesitation. It wasn't until the scammer asked for a wire transfer that he paused long enough to call his real son. That close call shook him deeply. Using old passwords or skipping two-factor authentication isn't harmless. It's like leaving your front door unlocked in a neighborhood where you don't know who's walking by. But digital security doesn't have to be stressful. Password managers can remember everything for you. Two-factor authentication can send a simple code to your phone. Banks now offer senior-friendly fraud alerts. And asking a younger relative or trusted tech helper to set things up isn't a burden. It's smart. Your peace of mind matters more than your attachment to old habits. Protecting your digital life is protecting your independence. Number 9, avoiding assistive devices out of pride. For many people over 70, accepting a cane, walker, or grab bar feels like admitting defeat, as if using support means giving up a piece of who they used to be. But living alone changes everything. A simple slip in the bathroom or on the front steps doesn't just hurt. It can take away your mobility, your independence, or even your home. One proud, stubborn friend of mine refused to use a cane. "I'm not that old," he said, right up until he fell outside the grocery store and lay there unable to stand. He eventually got up, but the shame he feared from the cane was nothing compared to the embarrassment of falling in public. He told me later, "You know what looks older than using a cane? Lying on the sidewalk waiting for help." Assistive devices in 2026 aren't bulky or unattractive. They're elegant walking sticks, foldable walkers with built-in seats, grab bars that look like modern decor, and mobility aids designed to blend with your home. These tools aren't symbols of decline. They're safety nets that let you keep doing what you love. Using support isn't weakness. It's wisdom. It keeps you strong enough to stay independent longer. Number 10, believing you must handle everything alone. This is one of the heaviest habits older adults carry, especially those who spent their whole lives being the dependable one, the provider, the fixer. When you're over 70 and living alone, it can feel like asking for help is admitting you can't manage anymore. So you push through fatigue, climb ladders you shouldn't, carry groceries that strain your back, and handle bills, medications, and repairs entirely by yourself. But here's the truth. There's no award for doing life on hard mode. One woman told me she used to hide how overwhelmed she was until she mixed up her medications and scared herself. "I wasn't failing," she said. "I was just alone." In 2026, support has never been easier or more discreet. Grocery delivery, medication organizers with reminders, part-time home helpers, neighborhood ride shares, and senior community groups exist to lighten the load, not to take over your life. Even asking a family member to set up autopay or a neighbor to carry heavy bags can protect your health and peace of mind. You've carried others for so long. Letting someone carry a little weight for you now isn't losing independence. It's gaining safety, ease, and dignity. Living alone after 70 doesn't mean life has to become harder, scarier, or more overwhelming. It simply means the world around you has changed, and you deserve to change with it in ways that make your days safer, lighter, and more peaceful. Letting go of old habits isn't losing independence. It's choosing the kind of independence that lasts. If any of these points made you pause or reminded you of something in your own home or routine, take it as a gentle nudge, not pressure, not judgment. Just a moment of clarity. A chance to adapt your life to the person you are today, not the person you were decades ago. And if this conversation helped you, inspired you, or made you smile, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need the same gentle reminder. You deserve a life that truly fits you.